In today's first look video, we're taking a look at the all-new Fuji 50 1.0 Aperture.
Back again. I made my bed and now I lay my head in it.
When Fuji sent me the email asking if I'd like to do a review for this lens, I got an email and said 50 Fuji. I was like, okay, cool. And then I looked back at it and I was like, wait, did I read that right? 1.0 Aperture? And I looked and I was like, well, I was right. It was a 50 1.0. I was super stoked. I have an X Pro 3. I was looking again the 56 1.2, but this changes everything. Now I have a new lens in my options, and I'm really excited to take a first look at it. Now, just a quick disclaimer. We got this lens very early on. It is in July right now. This lens is not coming out till sometime in September. So I have little to no specs. So what I'm gonna do is just show you how it's gonna perform in low light situations and how that 1.0 Aperture is really gonna make a difference to you, the shooter. We're gonna see how sharp it is, how well it's gonna handle low light performance, and how well it's gonna autofocus in these conditions. It's almost 9 p.m. We're here in downtown Austin. We're here with Kate as the model. So we're gonna put it through its paces and see how this brand new 50 1.0 stacks up.
I'm not perfect, but I knew that I wouldn't be.
The look we're kind of going for is, downtown vibes. A lot of neon lights. Hopefully, if we can get some, a lot of use of like color. We did bring a nan light with us, one of their small Pavo tubes. Link down below. But we're going to focus on Fuji. So we're going to use that to actually add some light, maybe some color in there as well. And that's just kind of the whole vibe we're going for. This lens is weather sealed. That is something I didn't mention previously. It is going to be weather sealed. We are going to have the aperture ring. And for a Fuji Prime, it's a 1.0 Aperture. I want you to keep that in mind, but it is going to be pretty large compared to, your F2 or even your 56 1.2.
Broken plans so we can start again. Wanting down a second chance. I'm too selfish for that. I let you fall again. Now that you know that I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. I'm sorry, my actions, they haunt me, and I'll never live it down. I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. You're still lingering like the old cologne that you wore. I still see your face in the empty frame.
Just kidding, not gonna do any modeling. It's not what I do. Time for our final thoughts. So what did I think of this 50 1.0 by Fuji? Like I said, we barely had any specs with it, so this was all just shooting experience. The size of it was a little bit much for me personally, but there's one thing you gotta keep in mind. It is a 1.0 Aperture. Fitting that much glass and having something that's able to go that wide is definitely not gonna be able to be in a small compact body. So that is one thing you do wanna keep in mind. Autofocusing, it was pretty good for autofocusing. Now I will say, the size of it and the amount of glass in there, whenever you're doing any little focusing stuff, you're definitely gonna feel it inside the lens. I wouldn't recommend this for video whatsoever. I do think you're gonna be able to hear it from the camera, and that's just, and I'm talking about little focusing distances that I was changing. So, I mean, if I barely move the model, press the autofocus, and you can definitely hear it and feel it inside the lens. The construct though is very solid. It's not a cheaply made lens. It's really solid overall. Love that, Fuji puts aperture rings on almost all of their lenses, and it's weather sealed. So I think that's all contributing to the size. Overall, give this a thumbs up. I was really happy with it. The amount of separation you can get from your background when shooting people or something like that, really impressive. The bokeh was phenomenal, especially on an APS-C size sensor that Fuji has. And that 1.0 Aperture actually did go a long way when we were shooting in these low light situations. I was able to keep my ISO roughly around 400 to 640 and very, very usable images, little to no noise. And even when it was, getting a little bit grainy. It wasn't like too much color noise. It was still, you know, manageable. It had, I guess, that filmic look that Fuji's kind of known for. But overall, really happy with it. I could see where this 1.0 aperture comes in handy for a lot of shooters. Will I be personally picking it up? Well, depends. If Fuji says I can hold on to it, then maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I really enjoyed shooting with this lens, and I'm definitely going to ask to borrow it again, or I might pick it up. It's still a toss-up between this and the 56 1.2. Other than that, let me know your thoughts if you think you're going to add this to your kit, as always. And if you are going to pick it up, make sure to tag us on Precision Camera ATX. Use that hashtag, and you do have a chance to get featured on our page. If you haven't checked out our page, we do monthly giveaways just about. We're always doing free classes on our Facebook page. So just make sure you support Austin's Precision Camera and Video. We got a lot of great stuff going on there. And as always, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on our next video. And by the way, forgot to mention right before we head out, it is going to be released sometime in September of 2020. The date is still going to be announced sometime here soon. And it's going to run roughly $1,500 US. And I promise that is it. Get on with your day. I'm done talking. We'll see you next time.
Swinging like a